Hi chums. Okay, squaring pen blanks to the tube. I've not developed, but I've seen this method here and it's become part of my method now. So I've developed into this, I suppose, It means an extra stage when you're sanding, but it seems to make a big difference, I've found. Right, what we normally do is, we normally mill the pen blank with this, okay? Stick it in the drill and stick it in. That's okay, but I have a problem with this. Whenever I mill one of these 7mm blanks, hold on, just get one, there's not glue inside. Right. Whenever I mill the blank, okay, that's dead on, it does the job. But what I find is that whenever I take the mill out, just on the edge there, there's a wee lip. It seems to cut into the material and leave the tube standing proud. Now, I've got those cutting edges really sharp, and it's still this little space, and I can just get my nail into it, and that is enough to make the tube stand proud. So what I've started doing is I've started using this just to clear the tube out roughly. So I bring it up to about here. I don't actually mill it with this. I just use this to take the dirt out. Oops. Oh, where I'm at there. And then I go over here to this. I'm going to see if I can just lift this up and see if you can see what I'm pointing at. No, I'll take this over. Right. Okay, so I come over onto just the belt grinder, and I've got a little rig set up here, and I just square. No, I don't square. I take the material off just until the brass is showing. Okay, it's just showing ever so much, but it's very light here. Okay. Now the reason for the next stage is when I'm doing this, I'm squaring the tube to the blank because the blank's square. But I need the blank to be squared to the tube so the pen will go together properly. So this is where the next stage comes in. What I do is then just clip you back up here again. I think we're okay at that. Right, so just make sure this doesn't fall off. Okay, so the next stage is I've got a mandrel here. It's just a Morse Taper mandrel. And you can put a drawbar in the back of it if you need to, if you're doing some other job. I've never had it come out. And just a 1-inch sanding disc, 120 grade on the end there, and then in there. Incidentally, I see people doing this with their Morse tapers, and especially their Jacob Chuck. They set it in nice and easy. That's not located. You need to put it in and slam it in, because then the taper will seat properly, And this is not my idea. As an engineer told me to do this, So I learnt that as well, because I wasn't putting it in hard enough, So that's that. Then 120, turn the drill on, and what I've got here, no, I'll just turn it off for a second. What I've got here is I've got a drift here, and there's a set of drifts that I use. They're for marking in metal, so you can go through a hole, and then you've got a little point in the end that that allows you to mark down through metal for precision. And I use these. There's the three I use. I used that one there for the Barons and Sedonas for the thin tube. That's the Baron thick tube, and that's a 7mm tube. These here cost like $10 or £6 on eBay, and they'll do me forever, And they're great for taking pens apart again. You can get a drift to suit any pen to get down in and knock the piece out. So then what we do then is we just run the lathe. Now I haven't run it very fast. You're only about sort of 600 or so, 600 or 700, and then just bring the work up, lock it down, and then just a gentle touch, and that's all it takes to square that now. So what has happened now is that because this is square to this, then this tube has been sitting square on that, so this face is squared to the tube, which means that your pen will go together properly. Now, with slim lines, it's not that critical, and you get away with a wee bit with Barons and Sedonas. Those are the ones I mostly make. But the pen where you will definitely not get away with having it not absolutely square is a Sierra pen. My experience has been that if there's the slightest error when you're squaring a tube for a Sierra, when you put the transmission in, it will not engage properly. And what you'll find is that when you open the pen to bring the ink out, you'll actually open the pen up as well and bring the transmission out. So this is why I use this for Sierras especially. We're using for all, but I wouldn't even dream of doing a Sierra without doing this, because I was squaring the blanks on the sander over there. But that's where I discovered I was squaring the tube to the blank. I wasn't squaring the blank to the tube. So that's why I do it here. So it means that my Sierra pens go together absolutely perfect now. There's no problem whatsoever. So it means that the drifts just make it that bit easier. I'm just thinking about Christopher here. Christopher, if you were to get a set of drifts, you only need 3 or so. Or you just need the ones for the pens. But they're so cheap you might as well get the whole set. That would make it easy for you to square pen blanks. I'm just thinking it might be a good idea. Yeah, I just need a Jacob's chuck in your tailstock and this Morse Taper. It's a dummy Morse Taper from our Axmis. They only cost a few quid, you know, and then 1-inch sanding pads. There you are, folks. Squaring tubes, squaring the blank to the tube, not squaring the tube to the blank. Okay. So, and there's a critical difference, you know, and that's all it takes. It's another stage in the process, but it means that when I go to make the pen, I know it's going to go together perfectly. Okay, all the best now. Oh, here, before I go, there's a few videos I owe you, but things have just been absolutely hectic here. There's been a big development. I'll be able to talk more about it later on today, maybe, and you'll understand why I haven't been doing much. Okay, well, I've been very busy, but I haven't been doing videos. All right then, all the best now. Bye-bye.